Okay, so I've got my second 2022 NFL draft. So yeah, full first round mock draft, and yeah, we'll just get started straight away. So the Jaguars with the first pick. It's really for me. I don't think taking Evan Neal is a good idea. I just wouldn't take a tackle with my first overall pick, especially for a team with the Jags, who the tackle position is not their biggest need. They've got two solid tackles already. I know they could lose Cam Robinson, but even if they don't, they got Walker Little. I think could be a pretty good tackle. So just taking Evan Neal, that kind of means you don't believe in Walker Little. So I don't think that's gonna happen really. And like the edge position pairing like already an elite pass rusher and Josh Allen with another elite pass rusher, I think that is a really good building block for this defense. And I think the player I'm going to take, Kayvon Thibodeau. I think Aiden Hutchinson's a better player. I just think that Kayvon Thibodeau would be a better fit alongside Josh Allen and just works better in this defense. But that also suits the Lions up in a perfect situation to get Aiden Hutchinson. And that's going to be my second over pick. Like Aiden Hutchinson, amazing pass rusher. Him and Kayvon Thibodeau, I have Aiden just above, but they are both very close. And they're, like, for me, the top two prospects in this draft. So I'm just going to go for that for the Lions. They just got to get a best player available. Now they got a good pair of edge rushers. Like, they got some good players there. So for the Texans with the third overall pick, for the Texans, there's a lot of different ways I think they can go. Of course, you got Kyle Hamilton on the board. Safety, a bit of a devalued position compared to like corner and tackle. So I mean, but I think he can play anywhere. That's kind of the thing with Kyle Hamilton. He's not just a safety. And then you also got Derek Stingley. I mean, he's got that injury and struggled a little bit last year, but he is still an elite corner. I think deserves to go in the top 10. This is where I'm going to go for Evan Neal. It's kind of different for the Texans. They don't really have that tackle in place. Like, they could lose Laramie Tunsil, you never know. And, I mean, the rest of their tackle positions, like, not amazing. Like, not Julian Davenport, either in the Colts. They got a different dude there. Yeah, well, whatever. They don't really got any amazing tackles besides Laramie Tunsil. And even if he does stay there, then you got a really good pairing with him as Evan Neal. And, yeah, my number one tackle, I think, would be a really good pick. And now for the Jets, I mean, you could go Ikem Ekwonu. I think that would be a really good pick for them. I wouldn't mind that. But I think, I mean, I'm either gonna go with Derek Stingley or Kyle Hamilton. Just improve that secondary, which was so bad for the Jets. And yeah, they just really needed to get help there. So I'm gonna go for Kyle Hamilton. Amazing safety prospect. I think he's gonna be an elite player in the NFL for a long time. Really like Kyle Hamilton. So versatile also, and the Jets. Marcus May, he could be gone. And then you only really got like Ashton Davis, who's alright. So, I mean, really helping out that secondary. He can play corner at times also. I feel like that'd just be really good for the Jets. They could use an elite player like that. And for the Giants with the fifth overall pick, they don't need corner, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for Charles Cross, though. I mean, they really need to get protection for Daniel Jones if they want to see what he can do, see if he can succeed, get himself that protection. They've got the playmakers. The rest of their offensive line, like they could use interior, but their other tackle, Andrew Thomas, is very good. And you pair him with Charles Cross, who's probably, I mean, you could argue he's the best pass protector in the draft at the tackle position. Not the best all-round tackle. Like, his run blocking is not as good as other tackles like Ikem Ekwonu, but just as a pure pass protector for Daniel Jones, I think is very good for them. And then the Panthers. Derek Stingley would be very enticing. They just don't need corner, and I feel like if I'm the Panthers, like, I kind of gotta go for somewhere on the offense. Either that's the offensive line or quarterback. So quarterback, yeah, Kenny Pickett. Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Carson Strong, they could easily fall in love with any of these players. Like, I would not be surprised if one of these dudes gets picked. But I think they'll wait a year on the quarterback, and I'm just going to go for Ikem Ekwonu. But you don't pass on an elite offensive lineman if you can get him at this point in the draft. For the Panthers, they really need to improve the offensive line, which was horrible. I mean, he's got the versatility to play guard and tackle. Like, if he doesn't work out as tackle, I think you start him there first. But if he doesn't work out, move him into guard. You got yourself an elite guard. Like, both positions of need for that offensive line, and he's there, so I'm just going to take Ikem. Like, I don't see why not. And then the Giants' second pick. I mean, they could go for quarterback, but they seem pretty locked into Daniel Jones. So I don't think they'll do that. I think edge is probably where I would go. And George Karlaftis, yeah, I'm going to go for David Ojabo, a guy with amazing athleticism. Needs to improve the run defense. But, I mean, just as a pure pass rusher and the upside that he has, only playing football for like 4 years from Scotland, let's go, that's where I'm from. So taking David Ojabo, I think really good for this defense. They needed more pass rush. Like, they only really had Azeez Ojulari off the edge, who's good, and then pair him with another young pass rusher with elite athleticism like David Ojabo. This defense could be pretty nasty in a few years. Like, it already is good. They just need to get more pass rush. That's kind of their main need on the defense. And the Falcons with the next pick. I mean, if Derek Stingley is on the board at this point, you cannot pass up on him. Elite player. Pair him with AJ Terrell, who's one of the best corners, in the whole NFL last year. Pair him with Derek Stingley. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. You got really helping out secondary. Like, this defense for the Falcons is horrible. And, I mean, they still need pass rush, but I cannot pass up on Derek Stingley. And this leads us to the Denver Broncos. Yeah. I mean, I think this is probably where I'm going to take my first quarterback in the draft. And I think for the Broncos, I mean, I don't know. Like, I like Kenny Pickett, but one productive year in 4 years, that's not amazing. If I'm going to go for Sam Howell, I'm a big fan of Sam Howell. I think he's probably my number one quarterback in this class. I think he's really good. Just, like, he doesn't have to start straight away. Sit behind whoever the quarterback is. And then you already got your quarterback of the future. I think he's a better prospect than Drew Lock, definitely.
Why are you still in here? You don't have any studying to do. Oh.
Yep. Sam Howell, really good pick. And now for the Jets, the number 10 pick. So we went safety with our first pick. I think, continuing to go for the defense is not a bad option. Like, I wouldn't really take any of the tackles at this point. I mean, their offensive line isn't bad. Like, you can maybe go for interior. But I think I'm probably going to go for defense, like corner. Yeah, I'll probably go for corner. I'm going to go for Ahmad Gardner. Like, I think they got him way too low on the Draft Network. Ahmad Gardner, outstanding season this whole year. Like, only allowing, I think it was less than 150 yards. Like, he was just so locked down the whole year. And, yeah, just getting more help for that secondary. Now you got your two building blocks. You got Kyle Hamilton and Ahmad Gardner. You kind of fit in players around them to improve this team, and I just don't see how you can pass up on getting an elite cornerback, especially for the Jets, whose cornerback position last year was not very good. So Washington, their first pick, I think, they're probably in the quarterback draft, really. I mean, Taylor Heineke's not your future. So I think you really got to go for a quarterback here. And yeah, I'm going to go for Kenny Pickett. Again, I think he's probably the most pro-ready quarterback in this whole class. I think you can start him straight away if you want to. So yeah, Kenny Pickett. I mean, I think to start him straight away. Maybe you want to start him behind Taylor Heineke to start off with. But yeah, I really like Kenny Pickett. I mean, even if he doesn't work out as well, like at least you took a shot on a quarterback. So I just like it for the Washington football team. Well, soon not to be. And for the Vikings with their first pick, yeah, George Karlaftis would be very enticing if I was them. I mean, they could even get into the quarterback class. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. They're a team that could go a lot of different ways. I mean, I think corner, they really need corner. So I'm going to go for Andrew Booth. Like, outside of Cameron Dantzler, who's shown flashes at points. And he can probably be a starter for you. They really need corners outside of that. Patrick Peterson, 1-year contract. Don't know if he'll still be there. So they just really need corner outside of that. Probably their biggest need on the defense. So I think going Andrew Booth, 12, he can be a really good corner. He's got all the traits, all the upside. So I like Andrew Booth to the Vikings. And then for the Browns, Jordan Davis or George Karlaftis, that's probably where I'm going. They could use receiver, but I think George Karlaftis still being on the board, pair him up with Myles Garrett, like, that could be a really good pass rush. Both those dudes are very versatile also, can play both sides of the defensive line. George Karlaftis will probably move inside at some points also. Just that pairing, like, if George Karlaftis can turn into a really good pass rusher, he's got more upside than, like, Jadeveon Clowney at this point and Takk McKinley, who are both free agents also. So I think George Karlaftis, if those guys leave, then you kind of got your replacement there already and just makes for a lethal pass rush. And the Baltimore Ravens, Jordan Davis, I could see. I'm just not a big fan of Jordan Davis, like number 9 on their board. That's not where I'm going to go. I think either the edge group, which I mean, at this point, there's some good play. Like Trayvon Walker's really good. But I think for me, I'm going to go for Nakobe Dean. I'm a big fan of Nakobe Dean. And Patrick Queen has not been good for them. When he makes flash plays, but that's kind of it. And then outside of Patrick Queen, their linebacker group's not looking amazing. I think you draft Nakobe Dean, you got your kind of elite linebacker for the future. Big fan of Nakobe Dean. So draft him here at number 14 for the Ravens. I think it really help out this defense. Kind of one of their, they don't have a lot of needs, and linebacker is one of their needs. And so this brings us to the Eagles with the 15th overall pick. The first of their picks, so they can kind of go anywhere. Receiver, I would not mind that. And I think that's one to go for my first pick, Jameson Williams, receiver, Alabama. He did have that injury that is pretty worrisome, I guess. But not really, because he's going to come back. I think he'll still be a first-round pick. I think it's really good kind of getting another speed threat for them at the same time, but also just a really good route runner. So Jameson Williams, I like that. I mean, they just need more weapons outside of Devontae Smith, kind of take the pressure off of him. I think Jameson Williams can definitely do that. And so for the second pick, offensive line, they do have some older players. It's not necessarily elite, big need. But I think Devin Lloyd would be a really good draft pick for them. Linebacker, probably their weakest position on their defense at this point in time. They've only really got TJ Edwards as a really good linebacker. He's pretty decent. I think Devin Lloyd, who's got that athleticism, he can rush the passer and kind of be like the Micah Parsons of last year. Of course, not as good, but kind of in a similar role. You can use him all over your defense. And that's why I really like Devin Lloyd. So, I mean, they really need linebacker also, so getting one of the best. I mean, my second best linebacker in this class. Out of one of their three picks, like, I think you could go for linebacker, so yeah. And then for the Chargers, yeah, I mean, D line definitely a need, like DeMarvin Leal, Trayvon Walker. Like, yeah. But this is probably why I'll just go for Jordan Davis. Like, he will immediately help that run defense because the run defense for the Chargers was horrible last year. We all know that if you keep up with the NFL. So getting a big run defender in Jordan Davis, who has some pass rush upside, not a lot. I mean, enough that you can take a shot on him just knowing that he'll be a really good run defender straight away. And yeah, for my favorite team, the Saints, let's go. I mean, it's basically between two positions for me, a quarterback or receiver. Like, I don't really know where the Saints are going to go. They could re-sign Jameis Winston. If they do, then definitely not going quarterback. But if they don't re-sign Jameis Winston, I think they could still go for a veteran in free agency. So I'm not sure. It just depends if they fall in love with one of these quarterbacks. Like, you don't know. But I am a big fan of Garrett Wilson, and I think that's where I'm going to go. The Saints receiver group outside of Michael Thomas, who you don't really know the future, what the future is with him. I think he'll definitely be around, but go back to that Ohio State well, which the Saints do every year. They always draft players from Ohio State. They just love going there. Michael Thomas, Ohio State. So you get Garrett Wilson, another Ohio State receiver. Really like Garrett Wilson. And for the Saints, they just need weapons. They just didn't have enough explosiveness on this offense. Last season, nobody was getting open. And at least with Garrett Wilson, he's got an amazing route runner, run after catch. He's got everything. Like, really good route runner. And just, yeah, Saints really need it. So for the Eagles, their last first round pick. Yeah, I mean, I was really thinking about going for Kenyon Green because they've got some aging players on the offensive line. But I think I'm going to go for the defense again. So, and it's for the cornerback position. That's what I'm going to go with. Either Roger McCree or Trent McDuffie. I'll go for Trent McDuffie. He's a really good corner. Was amazing at Washington. Locked down the whole year. They just didn't throw his way because they just knew, like, whenever anybody threw his way, he'd just either be an interception or pass breakup. Like, you just couldn't throw on him. And you've got Darius Slay, who's getting older. Steven Nelson was a 1-year contract. You've already got your slot in Avonte Maddox. Zach McPherson, I think he's more of a depth piece on your defense. So Trent McDuffie, I think he'll be a number 1 cornerback in the league, if not a number 2. And for the Eagles, yeah, it's a bit of a need, so I'd just go for it. And the Steelers at this point, and I'm going to go for Kenyon Green. I don't think they'll go for a quarterback in the draft. I think they'll probably pick up somebody in free agency, like a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo or like Derek Carr, maybe if they want to trade for him. Like, who knows? But I don't think they'll draft a quarterback. So that's why I'm going to go for Kenyon Green. The offensive line in Pittsburgh is ferocious. So, I mean, Kenyon Green can play tackle. I think you try him out at tackle. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea. He's played everyone on the offensive line, but if he doesn't work out as tackle, then just put him at guard. Like, they need any help they can get on the offensive line. I think he can be a really good guard. So, yeah, they need to get that running game going, get lanes open for Najee Harris. You know he's an elite player, just nobody could block for him. So getting Kenyon Green, hopefully that helps out the offensive line a bit. They still got some, they still need to do more to help it, but starting off with Kenyon Green, why the hell not? And so the Patriots, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for a player on the defensive line. Like, it'd kind of be a Patriots thing to do. Receiver, yeah, Treylon Burks. Like, I might go receiver, to be honest. Chris Olave would be nice. They kind of have the deep threat, and Nelson Aguilar just didn't really use him like that though. But I mean, I'm gonna go for Drake London. I think Drake London's an amazing player. He doesn't really have the speed, of course, but he's got amazing route running. He breaks tackles. You can just give him the ball and know that he'll get yards after the catch. Just jump ball receiver, really good at that. Just Drake London all around good receiver. So for the Patriots, they needed help in that receiver room. It was kind of only Kendrick Bourne and Jacoby Myers at points. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to in the draft. So I just go for Drake London. I think it'd be a number 1 receiver. So the Raiders would pick number 22. Roger McCreary would be pretty nice. That wouldn't be a bad option. But I mean, I'm just going to go for Tyler Linderbaum. He's a generational type center prospect. If he wasn't a center, he'd go much higher. Just the positional value. A center's not going to go that high in the draft. So, pick 22 for the Raiders. Getting a player like Tyler Linderbaum really shore up that interior offensive line for whoever the quarterback is. Everybody's pretty confident he's going to be an elite player. So, just getting a sure thing like Tyler Linderbaum at pick 22, I think that's too hard to pass up on. And I think in a deep cornerback class, they can address a position like that later on. So for the Cardinals, edge wouldn't be a bad option. Trayvon Walker, I think, is really enticing. Yeah, Trayvon Walker, Chandler Jones could be gone. It's probably most likely that he is. J.J. Watt, he's injury prone and can kind of play all over the defensive line anyway. But Trayvon Walker is such a good athlete, good scheme fit. You can drop him back in coverage if you want, because he can definitely do that. He literally had a diving bad pass. It was crazy. He just makes plays all over the field. He's a pretty raw prospect, but just with that athleticism, you've seen it with a Dafe last year and other players. If you just are an athlete, that can produce on your defense. So Trayvon Walker to the Cardinals. So the Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys, I wouldn't be surprised if receiver could be an option. Safety, but I'm probably not going to take any of those safeties in the first round. I think corner definitely. Yeah, corner. Roger McCreary, I'll go for that. Pair Trayvon Diggs with another corner. I think that, they've got some options at cornerback for the Cowboys. Their slot, Jordan Lewis, he's not amazing. But Anthony Brown on the outside, he's probably their weak link on that secondary. I think Roger McCreary can be a really good number 2 corner. Could be at number 1 like Trayvon Diggs. He's not as good as people say. Does give up a lot of coverage, but yeah, just getting another good corner, if not elite, possibly Roger McCreary could definitely be that. He was really good at Auburn. He locked down Alabama receivers and everything. And that's what I needed to do. So take that for the Cowboys. Really help out that secondary. And the Bills. Bills. They don't really need receiver. Tackle, no. They go edge every single year. So interior D-line, definitely. They need a run stopper. I just don't really know if they would really kind of go for that again on the defensive line. Truthfully, I think they're receiving, the receiver options are too hard to pass up on. And I'm going to go for pure burner for Josh Allen, Chris Olave. Chris Olave in this offense, that would be kind of nasty. Josh Allen, you already know he's got this probably the strongest arm in the whole league. So if you can get somebody like Chris Olave, who can be an elite deep threat, that could really open up this offense because they don't really have that. They got the route runners and the short yardage receivers, but somebody like Chris Olave to take the top off the defense, yeah, I think that's really good. Kind of a younger Emmanuel Sanders, but quicker. So, I mean, I just didn't really see, like, I didn't want to go for guard, even though that's a need. Like, I kind of wanted to go for something more explosive for this offense. So hopefully when they do meet up with a team like the Chiefs, they, yeah, can put up more points. Sounds kind of crazy, but yeah. So the Titans now, with their first pick, receiver, again, could be an option like Julio Jones. He's been very injury prone. Kind of only A.J. Brown outside of that. Yeah. Corner, probably not. Christian Harris, like, linebacker is a need for them, so I could see that. Damn. Kind of struggling with this one. The corners are Kaiir Elam. That is pretty hard to pass up on if I was the Titans. Yeah, I'll probably go for Kaiir Elam. I mean, Janoris Jenkins, he's really old now. And I think he's only on a 1-year contract. So getting a replacement for him, you got Christian Fulton, who looked really good. You probably already got your slot in Elijah Molden. So getting Kaiir Elam, and of course, you can never pass up on enough corners. Like, corners, extremely valuable position. And Elam, he was good this year. He struggled at points. Like, he had games where he was really bad, and then other games he'd be really good. But he's definitely got, like, everything to be an elite corner in the league. So I think Kaiir Elam at pick 26, I think it's a good pick. And then the Buccaneers at pick 27, almost a quarterback. Like, no. But I think Treylon Burks, like, I really like going Treylon Burks for the Buccaneers. Yeah, like, Treylon Burks to the Bucks. I think that's pretty good. Replacement for Godwin, who's probably going to leave after the year. And, yeah, they're just going to need other weapons, especially if Tom Brady comes back. You see what happens when the weapons are injured. They just aren't as good on his offense, not on the same page of his receivers. So I think Treylon Burks, getting that big body receiver, he can kind of be a good replacement in that role for Chris Godwin. Like, he's got the speed, the size, the run after catch. Just good all-around receiver. So I like that for the Bucks. And the Packers, will they go for a receiver? This pick really depends on if, Aaron Rodgers comes back, because I think they could go a lot of different ways. Like, I like George Pickens. I'm not sure if I would take him in the first round. For the other receivers, Jahan Dotson, that would be very nice. Yeah, Jahan Dotson, I don't know. I mean, tackle I would not say is a big need for the Packers. They could use, like, a run stopper. DeMarvin Leal, not really that. But, I mean, I'm just going to go for DeMarvin Leal. I think it's too good to pass up on. I mean, before this year, people thought he could be, like, a top 5 selection in the draft. Just didn't happen. But he's still an elite prospect. Like, just because he had a bit of a down year, I think he'll still come out. I think at pick 28, that's definitely a steal for DeMarvin Leal. I think by the time the draft comes around, he might get picked much higher. But pairing him with, I was about to say Frank Clark. That would have been crazy. Kenny Clark on that defensive line. Like, he just needs help. Like, it's literally just Kenny Clark on that interior. And DeMarvin Leal can play edge rusher also, because they got free agents there. Just a good versatile piece that they can kind of play wherever they want. For the Bengals now, yeah, I think I got my pick already. Trevor Penning, like, improve the offensive line even more. Could play guard or tackle. I think probably just a replacement for Riley Reef, who's old and yeah, just not very good. So, I mean, I'll go for Trevor Penning, like high upside player from Northern Iowa, so didn't play amazing competition, but yeah, amazing athlete, kind of showed everything that like to be an elite tackle. If he comes out in the Senior Bowl and shows what he can do against more elite prospects, I think that's too good to pass up on. Just improve your offensive line if you're the Bengals. Like, you don't really got much other needs besides protecting Joe Burrow. So get Trevor Penning. Could be like develop into a really good player. For the Dolphins, I don't really like any of the tackles available at this point, like Nicholas Petit-Frere. I don't think I like that. I mean, Zion Johnson, that would improve your offensive line. Just the interior, that's kind of it. Christian Harris, I'm pretty sure he's coming back. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he came back to Alabama. I'm not sure, though. But I'm just going to go for Jahan Dotson. Like, I think it's too good to pass up on. I know they've kind of got a similar player in Jalen Waddle, but why the hell not get another one? Really help out Tua even more. You've got Devontae Parker and then Will Fuller. Like, who really knows with him? So I think Jahan Dotson, just kind of best player available. Didn't really like any offensive lineman I could take. So getting Jahan Dotson, pick 30. I like it for them. And now for the Lions. So we took edge with our first pick. And now, I mean, there's so many quarterbacks. I feel like I kind of have to. You have Jared Goff there, probably only for one more year. So if you're here at pick 31, I just pick, I mean, your favorite quarterback, to be honest. And I'm going to go for Malik Willis. Probably got the most upside out of all the quarterbacks in this class. So pick 31, Malik Willis, definitely not ready to start. So going to the Lions where he can sit for a year or two maybe, like, who knows what you could get with him. You could have the next elite quarterback. He's got the athleticism already, which helps. Just really needs to improve his like actual quarterback mechanics and playing the quarterback position, because he just looks like a really raw player at quarterback. So, pick 32, the last pick in the draft, we have the Chiefs. Edge, definitely. Like Cameron Thomas, I am a pretty big fan of. Jermaine Johnson also. I could see like George Pickens, I don't think would be a bad pick. George Pickens, like, get more weapons. But I think Jermaine Johnson, crazy athlete. Take him pick 32. Too good to pass up on. An amazing elite, an amazing edge class. Jermaine Johnson, pick 32. They just need more passes. Like, Frank Clark can do some stuff. Melvin Ingram, you don't know about his future. They might re-sign him. He might be looking for more money that they don't want to pay. So either way, one of their biggest needs, just get help on that defense, which has shown signs of bad play this year and then like good at other times. But Jermaine Johnson, like him on the edge. So go to the Chiefs. Yeah, so that's the video. The mock draft, full first round. Give me your thoughts. And yeah, I'll see you next time whenever I feel like it. So, see ya.